All right, here we are, the sixth and last round of the V8 Sophy series that I've been running in Gran Turismo 7. I was going to do 8 races in this series, but I've decided to go ahead and cut it short to 6 races because I've got something else coming up after this that I really want to get to. So this was kind of a test season anyway, just to see how things go, and it's gone pretty well. I still think it's a little too easy to win against Sophie, but the next series I do will definitely be a bigger test. Um, so we are at Spa Francorchamps here, and we are going to go ahead and get started with this. There's just enough laps to get us to roughly, I don't know, 56 to 58 minutes for the race. So we'll see how it goes. I'm going to reload the settings real quick because, here we go. I noticed that possibly my car is not using the correct livery. Here's the lineup for this one. So I replaced the Mercedes that I had up front as the Rabbit car. If you don't know what the Rabbit car is, it's basically intended to beat everybody, including myself, so that it reduces or eliminates the rubber banding effect. So even if I get in second place, which technically is first place, the cars behind me won't try to go faster artificially to keep up with me, because technically I'm not in first place. But I've replaced the Mercedes that I was using because I'm using that Mercedes in another series. And so I've replaced it with this Gr.4 Mustang. So if you see it on track, just ignore it. Technically, it doesn't exist. That's why his name is D Count, because he doesn't count. And so this is your lineup here. The Jags and the Mercedes pretty quick here at Spa. And the Fords, not so much. So if this is your first race, basically the way I qualify these cars is I do the qualifying manually myself. I physically qualify every car, and I do 2 laps, and I jot down the fastest lap time, and then I put them in the correct order from fastest to slowest. My car is all the way at the back because I have a bunch of extra ballast weight, and even if I go all out and try to qualify 10th, I still qualify in last because I'm just that much slower than all the other cars based on weight, which I won't have to do in my next series, and that's something that'll change. So yeah, this is our lineup here, so we're going to go ahead and get this started. All right, let's see how it goes. See if we can pull off a win in the last race of the season. Gonna take it easy for the first race or for the first lap. This car is very understeering on cold tires, so Little bit of arrow push right there. A little bit of a run here. Try to protect the inside. Missed the apex on that a little bit. So the AI cars are really slow through here for some reason, especially this corner. So I think that's one advantage we're going to have over them for this whole race is through that section. Yeah, so it goes to show just how much slower the AI cars are still compared to human racers, because when I manually qualify these cars by myself, my car is 1.5 seconds off the pace of the leader. But during the race, I still have pace over them. So Mustang is quick in a straight line, but the cornering speeds are not that great. Ooh, almost got a piece of the wall there. Slipstream here. Left that door wide open. They're also a little slow through there. Probably just lost my clean race too. Stick it right back up in there. Oh, he's going for it again. Yeah, that was kind of ugly a little bit there. Should be able to get him here. Because they're really slow through that corner. I got a little bit of a gap to catch up here. Almost overshot that. Lexus is pretty quick in a straight line. I don't know why they're swerving back and forth on the straightaway here. turn in for that. Let's see how quickly we can catch up to this group up here. Overshot that a little bit. Aston going for the move. Oh, Lexus wants it back. That's going to slow them down, so I get a run. No. Pinched off. Didn't think that was going to work, but it actually worked. So watch him because he's going to try and take it back. Real easy to do that. Gaggle of cars going at each other here. Ooh, contact. Coming in hot. Corvette's a little loose on corner exit. Corvette's fast down the straightaway. Slipstream wasn't doing anything. Bit understeer through there. A little deep. Talk about a dive bomb. Holy crap. That got sketchy there for a second. Push. You get tucked up behind them like that, you just start sliding out. getting out there. Going for it. Vicky is the Mercedes. I hate that they slow down so much through there. Little bump. Couldn't do my cutback there because I just understeer. Oh, gotta run now. Oh, he's going for it. I just don't have the acceleration. Oh, gotta run. Whoa! A little too deep under brakes. Understeer. Alright, I'm thinking we might pit right now. Alright, so if this is your first race with us, basically what's going to happen is I'm going to take more fuel than I need to, because if I don't, I'll actually gain too much time during the pit stop cycle. So I want to basically be around the same position that I was in when I came in. So even though the little diamond there says that we can stop before halfway, I'm going to keep going past it. So we're going to go to right there. And we'll see where that puts us. Remove some bias here real quick. It's a little too rotatey on the little too rotatey on braking. overshot that a little bit. Messed that up. The Mustang's on pit road. The invisible car is catching us. See, the invisible car just passed us. The car that doesn't exist. Alright, the leader's on pit road. So we'll see when we come out here. So I'm pretty sure we're in second place right now. This car was the leader when we pit, so we still gained a lot of time. Everybody else hitting pit road. Oh, a little oversteer. This should put us in the lead. Wow, one of those cars had no fuel. be able to cruise to an easy victory here, which is kind of unfortunate because do I like winning? Yes. Do I want to win all the time? No. Hopefully someday the AI in Gran Turismo will get to the point where you can qualify mid-pack and you're fighting for your life to just get like 2 positions. That's what I want. I want to earn those wins, not have them given to me. Laps to go. And remember how I said because we have that fast car up front that's even faster than me, because that car is being shown as the leader, I'm able to pull away from the car that's behind me. So having that faster car up front basically eliminates the rubber banding effect. So the cars behind me are not going artificially fast to try and catch up. Well, I guess since we're a lap down to the car that doesn't exist, this will be the last lap for us. Set it in there a little too hard. And there we have it. I would say that one was a little too easy. There's a couple spots on this track where the AI cars are a little slow. So that kind of helped me with gaining a lot of time. And that's what I mean. Like I said, I manually qualified these cars myself, and my personal car was a second and a half, 1.5 seconds slower than the pole time because of all the extra ballast weight that I have. So if Sophy was as good as humans, right, it should be as good as me or better, I should have been way slower than everybody else. But because they are kind of slow in some corners and just basically overall slow, it's super easy to take a win. So I'm gonna save these real quick so I can do the point standings. So basically in the 6-race season, I managed to win the championship with only winning, let's see, I won 3 races, so 3 out of the 6 I won. And it was still too easy. So, let me make sure I took that screenshot. I did, okay. Lost my clean race somewhere, probably when I smacked into the back of that car. Alright, I'm going to save this replay so I can get a thumbnail. And yeah, like I said, the next series that will probably start in 2 or 3 weeks is actually going to be a Gr.4 series. And for those that didn't hear me explain it before, so with this V8 series that I did, my car had 80 kg of success ballast from winning races or finishing second or third, because I had success ballast for this series. So if you won a race, you had 30 kg added. Second place was 20, third place was 10. So amongst all my finishes, I had 80 kg of extra ballast, plus I added ballast for my body weight. So we had 161 kilograms of ballast for that last race, and we were still able, so that ballast made me a second and a half slower than the pole time, so I qualified last. But because the AI is just not up to snuff yet, I ended up winning the race a little too easily. Now, that's what I had to do for this series. I also reduced my power slightly, not a whole lot. I was only down by like 5 horsepower compared to the other Jags. Now, for the next series I'm doing, let's go in here so that it stopped the revving. So I'm going to do a Gr.4 series, and the AI cars are going to be set to, basically I'm going to take the Gran Turismo BOP and I'm going to add 40 horsepower. So like, you know, the SLS here is like 332 for Gran Turismo BOP, and I bumped it up 40 horsepower, and I've kept the weight the same. So that's what I'm going to run for AI opponents, is the Gr.4 cars at Gran Turismo BOP plus 40 horsepower, GT BOP weight, and then I'm going to use this car, which is not a Gr.4 car. It's actually classified as a road car. And even though I'm going to have my power and weight set the same as the Supra Gr.4, the racing should still be good, because technically I'm not classified as a race car, so there's kind of I guess, a burden to get over, or to some hoops to jump through to be able to be the same speed as everybody else. And we're going to do that. Another 6-race series. We all are going to have the success ballast is going to carry over. I'm going to do something slightly different for the qualifying. Instead of doing 2 laps and using the fastest lap as the qualifying time, I'm going to do 2 laps and use the optimal time as the qualifying time. I want to see how that goes. So this should be fun. I already did a couple test races at Suzuka, and they were really good for racing. So I'm hoping that continues. I have found, out of doing all the different Sophy races that I've done, Sophy is probably the best at Suzuka. So if you want to have a good Sophy race against the AI, do it at Suzuka Circuit, because that's probably their best track. They have, see if I can think, they have like one place on that track, one corner where they're maybe 2 where they're a little slow. The rest of the time it's a good race. A lot of these other tracks, Spa, there was like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are like 6 corners on Spa where they're slow. And so that's how we ended up getting that win just now, because they just go too slow through certain corners. So look forward to that. I have vacation next week, so we're taking a break. And then probably not the week after that. But let's call it in 3 weeks. We will start this GT4 series, basically. So I still have some cars that I need to get some liveries on them and get everything situated, add some names to the drivers, and then we'll get started. So we will see you guys then. If you're coming from GT Planet, I will definitely post it in there. So that's going to be it for this one. And thanks for anybody that watched, and we'll see you guys in 3 weeks.